Hi, in my early 40s, I made a simple decision that's completely transformed my life. At the time, I had young kids, a busy life, and was in an unhappy marriage. Then one day, I picked up this, a small sketchbook, and that simple decision set me on a path of transformation that I could never have expected. What if I told you that these little sketchbooks would lead me to teaching workshops in Vietnam and Italy, writing my own book, sketching all around the world, and it all started with a simple daily art habit, one that transformed my life in so many ways. Hi, I'm Omar. I'm an artist, illustrator and author, and I hope to share what I've learned from my 60 sketchbooks with you. Starting a sketchbook habit could change your life too. You don't need the perfect materials or a grand plan. Just pick up a pen or a brush, open a page and start. You never know where it might take you. So at first, my return to sketching felt pretty insignificant. I didn't have any visions of where it could lead. I simply sketched everyday objects around me, teacups, flowers from my garden, books or houseplants. And I wasn't even trying to be perfect. I just needed a way to reconnect with a part of my creativity that I felt was a little empty. Those early days were not easy as I was brand new to watercolours. I had never used them before, and there were moments when I questioned why I was even trying. But deep down I sensed that I needed this art to show up in my life on a daily scale, so I kept going. Later in 2025 I embarked on a series of 30-day and then 100-day projects as I taught myself watercolour. With limited time before school pickups, I wanted it to be easy and avoid coming up with excuses. So I just painted what I saw around me, like bottles of ink, even homegrown carrots, and they all had something to teach me. As I started to share my work online, something unexpected happened. I began to feel this sense of momentum and purpose. Now, at the time, social media was this beautiful thing that was like a bridge connecting me to a growing community of creatives, and that was part of the motivation that helped me to keep sketching. So every journey has its trials, and mine was no different. In 2026, I decided to push myself further with an entire 365-day book project. But just weeks in the January of that year, I fell ill with pneumonia. However, despite this setback, I still found ways to keep sketching, even if it was just a quick 5 or 10 minute doodle. My sketchbooks were my lifeline at that time. It was a place to channel my energy and stay connected with that part of my creativity. There were plenty of days when my sketches did not turn out as I hoped, but I did learn to embrace that imperfection and focus on those tiny progressive steps rather than perfection. Soon, sketching became more than just a creative outlet. It became my anchor. During some of the most turbulent times of my life, including a divorce, those sketchbooks were the source of my stability and healing. They offered me ways to process my emotions, find clarity, and rediscover tiny bits of joy. The acts of sketching taught me mindfulness, and as I observed the world around me, let's say the texture of blossoms or the shapes that my art materials made, I found myself being more present. They weren't just about art, it was about the record of my life I was leading at the time, and it provided a safe place for me to express myself, which was hugely important for me. One of the biggest misconceptions that people have about starting a sketchbook is that everything has to be perfect. You have to have the right sketchbook, the right paintbrush, the right paints, or even have to tidy the house first before you can start painting. Well, none of that matters. What matters is making that start. When I began, I kept it really simple. I only had a secondhand watercolour set, small sketchbooks, a basic black pen and a cheap water brush. My early pieces featured everyday items such as Lego, packaging and teacups. And I want to stress that keeping it simple is the key. If you are new to sketchbook keeping, you don't need expensive materials or elaborate setups. Start with what you have. Look around your home. Perhaps you have tinned tomatoes or moisturizers, paper clips, or even items from your kids' toy box can all be fascinating subject matter. What began as a humble habit has blossomed into a thriving career. My numerous sketchbooks have opened doors that I could never have dreamed of. I began teaching watercolour classes online, sharing my love of sketchbooks, and even wrote a book called Go With The Flow Painting based on techniques that I had developed in my sketchbooks. This habit has taken me around the world. I now teach workshops in locations like Vietnam and Italy, and I'm able to share my love of sketchbooks with others in person. Sketching has allowed me to build a community of like-minded individuals, and I've been able to connect with students and fellow artists from all corners of the globe, creating a beautiful space where we can inspire and learn from one another. It's a beautiful reminder for me that art can transcend boundaries and bring people together. Most importantly, I think sketchbooks have taught me about persistence, growth, and the value of showing up for myself. This simple act of sketching daily has enriched my creativity. It has shaped not only my career, but also how I see and experience the world. This habit has truly changed my life in ways that I could never have predicted. To help you build a creative habit, I've designed a 14-day challenge with simple prompts focused on easy everyday objects. These prompts will take the guesswork out of deciding what to draw, so you can simply enjoy creating. The objects are most likely things you already have at home, like your favourite mug, a book, fruit, or even a pantry jar. Use whatever medium feels right for you, a pen, marker, watercolour, pastels. The idea is really just to keep it super simple and fun. Now, it is January 2025, and as a Patreon exclusive, I'll be sharing process videos of my versions of these prompts within my paid Patreon. You can join for £7 a month and take part in this exciting challenge. And if you need more guidance, check out my class, Build a Daily Art Habit, Transform Your Art Practice in just 14 days. I think in just 10 to 20 minutes a day, you'll be able to unlock your creativity, build skills, and turn art into a joyful habit. The links to both of these are in the description below. This challenge is a great way to start, helping you to stay consistent, overcome creative blocks, and notice the beauty in everyday objects. The first prompt is coffee mug or teacup. You can just do one, or you can do several if you've got a few favourites. The second prompt is a jar of pickles, or perhaps mustard, or jam, or jelly as you say in the US. Third prompt is teaspoon or teaspoons, or maybe a collection of utensils. It's just there for inspiration. Fourth prompt is houseplant. You can do one or you can do several. Fifth prompt is pens or pencils, perhaps from your art pouch, or steal some from your kids. I don't think they'll mind. Sixth prompt are shoes or slippers, or perhaps you have boots or Crocs. It's just there for inspiration. Seventh prompt are keys, perhaps they're to your front door or your garage. And then the eighth prompt are books or journal. You can do one or you can do a whole stack of them. Ninth prompt are glasses or sunglasses. Not everybody wears glasses like me. 10th prompt are scissors. You can do one or several. I have loads all around the house. 11th prompt is lotion or several bottles of lotions, such as moisturiser or perhaps perfume or your makeup bag. 12th prompt, and I couldn't do a 14-day challenge without fruit, whether it's satsumas or dragon fruit. 13th prompt are salt and pepper shakers. If you don't have this, just choose something else out of your grocery cupboard. And the 14th prompt is toothbrush and toothpaste. I really hope these are going to be fun for you. Remember, you can watch the process videos for some of these on my Patreon if you join now. Think of this journey as an adventure. Just like a long journey begins with a single step, your sketchbook habit can open up new horizons. It doesn't have to be perfect or Instagram worthy. The only person who needs to see it is you. These 14 days could be the start of something bigger. Each page of your sketchbook is going to be a stepping stone towards a more fulfilling creative life. Sketching didn't just change my life, I truly think it saved it. And now as I begin my 60th sketchbook, I can see how far I've come and how much this small habit has shaped me. And I think the best part is, this is only the beginning. The lessons that I've learnt now are ones that I share with you and on my Patreon and with my students. And I love to help people start their own creative journey. Because if there's one thing that I've learnt, that even the smallest step, tiny step, can lead to extraordinary transformation. And I want you to